Okay, first of all, I am terrible at making videos, so what I'm going to try to do is do the best I can. I'm going to show you this is a RCBS green machine press, and this is the actual one you would be bidding on. Starting up at the top, and most of you that are familiar with these already know all this, but these are the cartridge tubes, and each one will hold probably 22 or so 38 specials. And you load up each tube, there's 5 of them, and as they run out or get close to running out, you can simply index it to the next one, to the next one, and so forth. And there's a click that tells you when they're lined up. Okay, so with that said, then next I'm going to try to zoom in here just a little bit. Also, clear down here at the bottom, there's been a small shaft collar added to this tube. So right below it sits an Allen set. If you ever want to take it out for any reason, you loosen that Allen set. This tube lifts right out. Put the tube back in, tighten the Allen set. Always make all of these Allen heads face you, and that you can take it in and out for any reason you might want to. Right now the thing is set up for 38. The only thing you have to adjust truly on it for the 357 is you have to raise the powder, adjust the bullet seep depth, and adjust the crimp comes up. But all the same transfer bars and everything is the same. Alright, so now we're going to drop about 10 empty cases. Okay, we'll rotate it just a little and they will drop down. Alright, now I'm going to zoom around here in a minute. So also included is another Dillon tube, and it's a pickup tube set up for small primers. Has a small cotter key or a hairpin key on the end, and you simply do everything like you would with a normal primer pickup. Take your primers, and I'm only going to put a few in. Put them in your tray. We'll put these in also, they're laying loose here. And agitate your tray until they're all the same direction. You want the cup facing up. Then put anything flat over the top of them and flip them. And now you take your pickup tube and simply pick them up. When I have nothing else to do, I have about 15 or 20 of these tubes. I fill them all. Each one of them holds 100. Alright, so now I'm going to reposition the camera. So here is the real primer feed tube here, and if you notice there's a plastic collar with a little recess. Simply set your full, and of course don't forget this one's not full. Set it up here, pull the key, and I don't know if you could hear it or not, but this is empty, and these drop down in the primer feed tube. And like I say, this is the replacement, this is not the original, and I'll just leave it in because the original one is a terrible primer feed system. Alright, this is really unhandy. This thing is kind of bolted to the bench, or clamped to the bench. The light, trying to get a little light on this subject, is in my way. So anyway, we'll just recap. We got empty casings in the feed tubes. We checked and we make sure we have powder in the powder feed. We've put primers in the primer feed tube. And so now all you really have to do is when you pull the lever the first time, it puts the first cartridge here, it decaps it, sizes it, and when you push the arm back, it moves it to the next step, inserts a new primer, and when you pull down the next time, it's going to put the powder in this and flare the top of the case just a little bit so that the lead bullet will go in without shearing. So here we go. Drop a bullet in, and all you have to do is drop a bullet in. But in this case, I'm going to have to catch them because I don't have room for the catch tube out here. Well, actually, it threw it on the floor, but you're getting the idea. So drop a bullet in. This is a little slower without having to catch tube there, but every stroke you get a loaded bullet, and when you're heading towards 80 you get to be a little fumble fingered like I am. Oh, that's a 45 caliber bullet I'm trying to put in a 38 feeder. As you'll see a little later in this short video, I've got these things set up from 380 all the way up to 44 Magnum, and okay, so now that's the last case that came down here. So we'll pull it again, load that. It steps it over, dumps the case. Now you have to remember to kick the powder out of gear. There's two little pins you pull back here, because if you don't, you will dump powder into all the mechanical parts of the press. Okay, that is not a very good demonstration, but we'll stop here and then we'll go into a press that I've got set up. I've got it set up with a Dillon case feeder on it. Alright, now we're into my loading room where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 of these presses loaded onto a Lazy Susan, and I just pull a pin and I can rotate it around, get to any caliber I want. I don't have a lot of room, and I like leaving everything set up for one caliber. So the first thing you'll notice is there's a single drop tube here. Okay, that is one of the regular RCBS tubes, and then I went ahead, I do a little bit of metal work, and I made this piece up to go in place of the carousel. The bottom plastic piece is there. It's simply a big washer with this piece of 1/2-inch conduit brazed to it. And what that allows me to do is swing a Dillon case feeder over, and it clips right on. And now all the cases are fed automatically. Hard for me to get around in this small room. So when you turn the Dillon feeder on, it's only going to drop a couple. So it'll run a second, then it starts dropping. Alright, now the tube is full. There's a micro switch that shut everything off. Alright, so, and of course, as you see, also mine has the Dillon tube on it, but I went ahead and put the blast shield on it in case of a stack discharge. But truly, this is the only one that has it. all the rest of the machines simply have the same tube you have. Now, as you can see here, I took a piece of rod and I soldered a bullet on the top, and that's a follow rod that makes sure the primers that feed down. Never had a feed problem, but that's what I did. Down below, I've got it set up on my bench to where I can pick the bullets up out of this tray. This box I made to catch the spent primers coming out, because the one you'll be getting has the standard little plastic bottle. It holds probably 100 rounds or so, but then you have to remember to empty it. And this catches the bullets coming out. So let me reposition the camera and show you how this works when it's actually bolted to the bench and all. Now, once again, by the time I get the chair in here and me in here, and I'll probably knock things all over the place. But whenever I go away from my press, especially a progressive, I always leave it in the down position. The dies are all over everything there was, so I don't forget where I was. So I don't have to re-engage the powder feed and nothing. So I simply, and this is a little slower because these are double-ended wad cutters and they're hollow base. So I have to watch which way I'm putting it in. So anyway, we go up, drop a bullet in, so this is what you can do, and you can really crank out a lot of bullets in an hour. And like I said, whenever I stop, I always stop with it down. And here's what, I don't know if you can see it, but my Smith & Wesson Model 52, it's a semi-automatic that shoots rimmed cartridges, and they have to have them seated flush with the mouth of the case. So anyway, this is not the one you're buying, but really there's not a lot of difference. This one's had, like I said, a couple modifications, but yours you can make the modification or leave it like it is. It's a good press, works no matter which way you use it. Thank you.